Ilhas Malvinas ou Falklands? Um parlamento de influência britânica foi criado no arquipélago, que é alvo de disputa entre Argentina e Reino Unido. Um emissário desse parlamento esteve no Brasil com a missão de tentar negociar o fim do bloqueio às Malvinas e a abertura de, pelo menos, o comércio. Um convite, inclusive, foi feito para que uma missão parlamentar brasileira vá às Malvinas. No Senado Federal, não há tanta resistência à ideia de suspender o bloqueio comercial.
Localizadas a cerca de 500 quilômetros do litoral argentino, as Ilhas Malvinas são um ponto de discórdia entre Argentina e Inglaterra. Desde 1883, elas são administradas e ocupadas pelo Reino Unido e respondem pelo nome de Falklands. O arquipélago sempre foi motivo de tensão entre os dois países. Em 1982, chegou a haver guerra. Derrotada depois de 2 meses de conflito, a Argentina ainda hoje reivindica a soberania sobre o território, onde vivem 3.000 pessoas. Os habitantes das Ilhas Malvinas, ou Falklands, aprovaram no início do ano a permanência do território sob o domínio britânico. A Argentina não reconhece a legalidade da votação. O Brasil e os demais integrantes do Mercosul apoiam a nação vizinha. Em diversos fóruns, como no Parlamento do Mercosul, foram favoráveis ao domínio argentino e decretaram uma espécie de bloqueio comercial ao arquipélago.
Eu acho que é uma situação já legalizada, pode-se ter inconformismo, pode-se achar que é contra, mas um bloqueio ele é completamente inadequado, injustificável dos países que compõem a América Latina.
Temos que buscar boas relações no plano comercial, sobretudo, com todas as nações do mundo. Obviamente temos esses compromissos relacionados ao Mercosul que não podem ser ignorados, mas eu imagino ser possível fazer uma análise mais ampla desta situação.
O Diplomacia entrevistou o emissário parlamentar das Ilhas Falklands, o deputado Dick Sow, que veio com a missão de abrir negociações.
Ao sul do Atlântico, um pequeno arquipélago divide a América do Sul e a Europa. Estamos falando das Ilhas Falkland, ou Malvinas, como dizemos desse lado do planeta. Hoje o nosso convidado especial é um deputado das Ilhas Falkland, deputado Dick Sow, de um pequeno parlamento, apenas 8 parlamentares. Deputado, bem-vindo ao programa Diplomacia. Welcome to Diplomacia Program. Inicialmente, eu queria lhe perguntar, Malvinas ou Falkland?
Well, we refer to the islands as the Falkland Islands, obviously. The word Malvinas, interestingly enough, comes from the French word les îles Malouines. So actually it has nothing to do with Spanish. It is to do with the French sailors who settled there hundreds of years ago. But obviously we prefer to call it the Falkland Islands, yes.
O seu país hoje vive um problema de um verdadeiro bloqueio, porque a América do Sul não reconhece a autonomia das Malvinas e o país ficou isolado. Como que a população lida com isso?
Well, we don't really, we've lived with the problem of Argentine aggression for many, many years. Obviously since 1982 we've had a very fairly peaceful time. But the aggression from Argentina now is more manifested by way of, as you say, attempts to blockade our economy, attempts to disrupt our free trade, and attempts to disrupt also our human rights in the sense of self-determination, for example. What effect has it actually had in the Falklands? Very little effect. Probably the prices of 1 or 2 things have maybe increased slightly, but we can get all that we need from the United Kingdom if we have to. But what we want to do is we would like to trade with countries in South America. We accept the fact that Argentina will probably never recognise our British sovereignty in the Falkland Islands, but we believe that it's perfectly possible to have normal neighbourly relationships with all the countries in South America, normal trading relationships. So my message would be, let's put sovereignty to one side and let's see what we can talk about as reasonable, mature people and talking country to country.
E como que essa proposição é aceita pelo governo brasileiro?
Well, I think there's two separate things there. There's how a government views that, and I think any government in South America is going to find it very, very difficult to change its official line on the Falklands and the sovereignty issue. But what I'm saying is let's see how we can deal with Brazil. We can perhaps deal with companies in Brazil who might see the Falkland Islands as a land of opportunity. We have oil and gas exploration going on. We also have oil and gas development going on in the Falkland Islands. In Brazil, you have a very huge oil and gas industry. And what we're saying is there is plenty of opportunity in the Falklands for companies that currently supply those sort of industries within Brazil to also supply us. And we believe that's a big opportunity, one that companies may wish to take advantage of.
Esse ponto das reservas petrolíferas é dos pontos cruciais da discussão entre a Argentina e o governo inglês e o governo das Malvinas. Como convencer os outros países aí, as empresas aí, explorar petróleo lá no sul do Atlântico, sabendo que poderão ser punidas ou ter algum tipo de represália?
Well, I mean, the first point I would make is that we, the Falkland Islands government, and also the government of the United Kingdom, are in no doubt at all as to our rights to exploit any natural resources that lie around the Falkland Islands. We have a very well-defined territorial boundary. We have a defined economic exclusion zone around the Falklands. Argentina was invited to join in hydrocarbons activity. But in 2004, they decided to destroy the agreement that we had with them and decided not to join in hydrocarbons exploration. As to the question about companies and how companies see the difficulties of working in the Falklands given the amount of pressure that Argentine puts on them, that is up to individual companies to assess that. And if I was in their position, I would be assessing it purely from a business point of view. I would be saying, if I've got interest in Argentina, maybe I don't want to have interest in the Falkland Islands. But that is very much a decision for companies to get involved in. But any legislation that Argentina produces against British exploration companies or any other company that explores for oil in the Falkland Islands has, of course, absolutely no legal validity within the Falkland Islands or, of course, outside of Argentina. But that is a risk for governments, not governments, that is a risk for businesses to assess, not for me to advise on.
A Argentina quer reabrir nas Nações Unidas as negociações. As Ilhas Malvinas concordam em abrir essas negociações?
Well, what Argentina does is it constantly flags up Resolution 2065, which comes from 1965. 1965, it called on the Resolution 2065 calls on the UK and Argentina to negotiate over the sovereignty of the Falkland Islands, or actually over the future of the Falkland Islands. It doesn't come up with any particular solution, it just says, please talk. What the United Kingdom government and Argentina did, in fact, leading up to 1982, was they did talk. So I would very firmly argue that Great Britain did talk, much to the annoyance, actually, of the Falkland Island people. But then the great game changer was, of course, 1982, when Argentina invaded our country against two Security Council resolutions that called on them to withdraw their troops. Now, those resolutions from the Security Council are binding. Argentina ignored those. Now, in my view, that means that any resolutions that were passed in 1965 are null and void because they're no longer valid. We had an invasion, there was a war. That war, thank goodness, is now over. We have a deterrent force in the Falkland Islands and we have peace. And we have our own system of government and we run our own country as we wish to run it.
Então não há negociação.
We are always prepared to talk to Argentina about a wide variety of issues, whether it's the conservation of fish stocks that go between the two waters, the Argentine waters and the Falkland Island waters, whether it's to do with oil exploration. We're happy to talk about a whole wide range of issues. The thing is that Argentina refuses to negotiate or talk with us over those issues. All Argentina wants to do is talk about sovereignty. The people of the Falkland Islands have made it extremely clear in March of this year 99.8% of people said they wanted to be British. And I don't think that is in any doubt. Now, no politician can ignore that. Nobody in the Falkland Islands government is going to negotiate over sovereignty whilst the people of the Falkland Islands wish to remain British. That's very, very clear. But, having said that, there are many, many other areas where we have tried to talk to Argentina over the years, and where indeed under the government of Carlos Menem, for example, with the Canciller Guido de Teja, we made some progress which resulted in the 1999 agreement between Argentina and Great Britain, which the Falkland Islands government signed up to as well. Now that agreement unfortunately has been broken by Argentina in all but one area. What we would wish to do is reopen those sort of talks.
O senhor está numa espécie de uma jornada diplomática. Que sucesso o senhor está obtendo?
Well, I would like to think that I've got the view of the Falkland Islands across to a great many people throughout South America. I've been to Central America, I've visited Mexico, Guatemala, Colombia, Panama. I'm visiting Brazil at the moment. I'm also due to visit Uruguay. I've also been to Chile. Other colleagues have visited other countries in South America, and in each of those countries we've given the same sort of message. Look, we are reasonable people. We're not difficult people to deal with. We can talk about a variety of issues. The one thing we will not talk about is sovereignty. But on all the other issues, please let's talk. Now, I think that has had some degree of success. How do you measure that success? It's actually quite difficult. I don't mean that official government lines have changed. I wouldn't expect those to change overnight. This is a very, very long process, and it's a very long journey that we in the Falkland Islands have embarked upon. But I think it is very good that our elected members are getting out into the international community and putting our messages across to people.
O senhor teve alguma boa resposta?
Yes, I did, yes. I think we made a lot of... it's difficult when you are dealing with maybe an opposition party. The opposition party might not agree with the government line. But governments come, governments go, governments change. There's an election coming up in Argentina soon. We would hope that the election produces a change which for us will be for the better. We would hope that we would end up with a government in Argentina who will respect our human rights, respect our right to self-determination, and talk to us about a wide variety of issues so that we can live peacefully side by side as good neighbours.
Uma das coisas que deixou pouco irritado os governos sul-americanos, principalmente da costa atlântica, é porque existe acordo que proíbe navios nucleares. E, recentemente, navio militar nuclear britânico esteve na ilha. Como que as ilhas respeitam e negociam com os acordos regionais? São acordos respeitados ou não?
Well, the first point I would make is that the Falkland Islands government has absolutely nothing to do with the defence of the Falkland Islands. That is the sole responsibility of the UK government. Second point I would make is that there is a big distinction to make between any vessel which is powered by nuclear power or a vessel which carries nuclear weapons, and there is a massive difference between the two. I have never seen any evidence to support the claim that there is any form of either nuclear-powered vessel or nuclear arms in the Falkland Islands. Look, the Falkland Islands is a very small place. If there was a nuclear weapon down the road from my house, I would know about it. But I can rest assured that I'm sure there is nothing. As for whether or not there is a nuclear-powered submarine in the South Atlantic, you're asking the wrong guy. I wouldn't have a clue.
As Ilhas Malvinas podem se transformar numa base militar do Reino Unido?
Well, I think that's very important. The Falkland Islands is not a military base for the UK. We have a deterrent force in the Falkland Islands which has been there since 1982. Talking about the military force in the Falkland Islands, it's also important to remember that over the years, as the threat from Argentina has declined, so has the forces maintained in the Falkland Islands. We have nowhere near the number of people, the number of armed forces in the Falkland Islands that we used to have. We have far less now than there were in 1982. What we have is an effective deterrent. Nobody, I am sure, is expecting the forces in the Falkland Islands to go and attack anybody, but it is there for our safety. And while Argentina places its claim into its constitution, which it did in 1994, it placed that claim into the constitution, it is very difficult to remove the military deterrent force from the Falkland Islands. But I am absolutely sure that if that military deterrent was not there, that we would have problems from Argentina. But while it is there, I'm absolutely convinced that actually the South-West Atlantic will be a very peaceful place to live.
Se eu fosse deixar uma mensagem aos brasileiros, qual seria?
I love the country. It's enormous. I've never been anywhere with 190 million people living in it before. We may be small, there are only 3,000 of us.
Qual é a população das Malvinas?
3,000, and an area of about 12,000 square kilometres, so it's reasonably big. But even though we are small, we have a strong economy, we have reserves, we have no national debt, we don't rely on anybody for any form of financial aid. Most of our economy is run from fishing, which we've been running very successfully since around 1986. And we are a very small country that is poised on the brink of oil exploration, which is a very, very interesting moment for our economy. And I believe the message I would like to leave is we are open for business, we are easy to talk to, we're easy to contact, and we're easy to do business with.
Eu agradeço sua presença no programa Diplomacia e você continua com a gente. No próximo bloco, as notícias culturais.